Tonight, see how Troy students are getting motivated.
Plus, we take a look at the play Crimes of the Heart. It opens tonight. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Nightly News for October 25th, 2012. I'm Courtney Addison.
And I'm Judson Garner. Thank you for joining us this evening. Homecoming is not until next month, but Troy students have already cast their votes for who they want to be the next potential homecoming queen. Christina Cook takes a look at this year's election and the extra pair of names that appeared on this year's ballot.
On Wednesday, 5 young women were selected to be a part of this year's homecoming court.
The student body is able to come out and they are able to choose who they think would best represent us as our homecoming candidate. They will have the top 5 chosen, and after that they will go through an interview process with faculty and staff, and that's how our representative will be chosen.
23 candidates were among the group of ladies that students could vote for, and according to some students, their choices were simple, but for others, choosing was a little more difficult.
There are a lot of girls on the ballot, so it was kind of hard to choose because I'm a freshman, and of course I don't know a lot of the seniors or some of the girls that are running for it.
I really came to vote for one person.
It was actually quite easy just because I could go down because I went ahead and knew who I was going to vote for, so I could just easily find their names in the list.
In addition to homecoming elections, students also had the opportunity to vote in a mock presidential election.
And for students to see what would Troy University count as in the Electoral College if that they were in the Electoral College.
And there were mixed reactions as to which election had the most relevancy among students.
I'll definitely be taking the regular presidential election, but I don't know how important the mock is to me personally.
I think it's important that we are voting for homecoming queen because it's showing who best represents Troy University.
Of course, the presidential election is more important just because it affects the entire country as opposed to the homecoming election who affects Troy University.
Christina Cook, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The homecoming court will be announced during the Troy, Mississippi State basketball game on November 9th. In the mock election, Mitt Romney got the majority of the votes cast with 73%.
Sartain Hall has traditionally been known for the athletic events, but last night, audience member got a little motivation courtesy to the man affectionately known as the hip-hop preacher. Bree Sanders has the story.
The stands of Sartain were filled with students eager to hear the motivational message of the hip-hop preacher, Eric Thomas.
Inspire the students tonight. I mean, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. I don't think students know that everybody in America doesn't go to college, and more specifically, everybody in the world doesn't get to go to college. This is a special time in their life. This is a special place for them to be at. And I'm just here to tell them to take full advantage of every single opportunity. I call it now. Right now. No opportunity wasted.
Thomas's first visit to Troy was a year ago for a leadership conference. He says that this occasion is different because not only is he speaking to leaders, but students as well.
You got that drive, man. You can do anything. Because, you know, whether you got to get up early, whether you got to stop partying, whether you got to just start hanging out with your friends. If you want to be successful, you got to do what it takes, and it's by any means necessary.
One student explains how Thomas's motivational speaking has helped her in the past and will help her in her future.
This meant a lot to me. Someone showed me his speech online a couple months ago when I first won the Miss Troy title, and that's what really motivated me to kind of get it in gear for Miss Alabama, and I wouldn't be halfway close to being able to compete if it wasn't for him. So when I found out that it was him, I mean, that was my first priority, was to go.
Bree Sanders, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The university's Activities Council's next Wednesday night event will be a haunted house Halloween night starting at 8 o'clock in the Arboretum.
Some students need more than just a resume to get a job. Rachel Scarborough shows us more on how one organization is helping students out.
On Wednesday night, the National Association of Black Journalists held a resume workshop for students in the journalism field.
We had 3 speakers come tonight. We had Erin Taylor of TrojanVision. We had Sarah Mead from Career Counseling. She came and she talked to students how to actually build a resume. And then we had Ms. Robin Brooks, and she came and talked to the students on behalf of print journalism.
Journalism students not only need a paper resume, they need a tape resume as well to show future employers their work.
Showing me that you took the initiative while you were in college, that you cared about building your career, that really makes a difference to future employers.
One student who attended the workshop says that he is glad he came because he learned much information that he would have otherwise never known.
The thing I most enjoyed about last night was probably the presentation done by Erin Taylor about how to make a resume tape, because I am a broadcast major and I really need to know how to make a resume tape to get in the job market.
One of the speakers gave this advice to students.
Get involved. It makes a difference. It hones your skills. It puts you in contact with other people, gives you an opportunity to win awards, and those things look good on your resume as well.
Rachel Scarborough, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The NABJ's next event will be a bake sale on the quad in November. Well, Courtney, Troy's Theater and Dance Department offers many entertainment options to Troy students and residents throughout the year.
That's right, Judson, and tonight marks the opening night of their latest production. Bailey Majors gives us a preview of Crimes of the Heart.
Wednesday night, Troy University's Department of Theater and Dance wrapped up the final dress rehearsal for a production started in August. The cast and crew are getting ready for the opening night of Crimes of the Heart, written by Beth Henley.
It revolves around 3 sisters in Hazelhurst, Mississippi in 1974.
3 very dysfunctional sisters, very different sisters that all come together, and they all kind of deal with their own problems.
The play follows the story of the McGrath sisters, Babe, Lenny, and Meg, who are dealing with a scandal brought on by the youngest sister, Babe. Each character also deals with their own internal conflicts while worrying about their dying grandfather.
All struggling with each other's internal emotions. They're struggling so hard so that they can outwardly express what's bothering them so much, but at the same time they don't want to seem vulnerable.
Crimes of the Heart incorporates the main elements of theater, comedy, and tragedy, but the director of theater says that the play also has a modern feel to it.
It's a little Anton Chekhov, it's a little Eudora Welty, and it's a tad Jerry Springer.
The cast and crew have been working on Crimes of the Heart for about 2 months, and the director and actors say they are pleased with their work.
It's been so fun, and the show is so real. Nothing's really a facade. Nothing's really put on. So it's been a journey, kind of an emotional journey for all of us, kind of creating these people.
And there are only 6. It's not a large cast. I think their efforts just have been wonderful. They're very talented.
Actor Grace Bailey, who plays Babe, encourages students and Troy residents to see the play.
It's relatable. Everybody knows the 3 crazy sisters, or everybody knows or has those sisters in the dysfunctional family, and they go through the problems. As cliche as it sounds, they do love each other and they come together in the end.
Bailey Majors, Troy TrojanVision News.
Crimes of the Heart will open tonight at 7 p.m. in the Trojan Center Theater and run until Sunday night. Tickets are $5 with a student's ID or $10 for general admission. You can pick up tickets in the box office located upstairs in the Trojan Center Theater.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Florence, police say they've solved the mystery of what appears to be a Craigslist advertisement offering a boy for sale in northwest Alabama. A Florence police spokesman says an investigation showed the ad was actually posted by the young man's sister as a prank. Holt says no charges will be filed.
And in Centerville, a judge has again delayed the trial of a man charged with killing his wife in their Bibb County home in 1999. Jody Bird was scheduled to go on trial this week in the gunshot killing of his 29-year-old wife, Decia Dodson Bird. The judge delayed the case because a new prosecutor has taken over.
In Birmingham, federal prosecutors say a man agreed to plead guilty to defrauding Children's of Alabama Hospital of more than $425,000 in a scam involving computer printer cartridges. Authorities say 36-year-old John David Nichols of Houghton agreed to plea in a document filed yesterday in Birmingham. And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the football team is preparing for their next conference opponent. Justin McNally will give us a look at that matchup in sports.
But first, Ohio is a highly valuable state for both presidential candidates, and it may be the state that decides the election. We'll have that story and more after the break.
Keep up their sprint through the battleground states. I'm Tara Merchner at the White House with a story coming up.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
I've been taking classes at Troy Online for years. The staff and the professors, they care about developing me, not just academically, but in my future career. I feel that Troy is preparing me for my next mission.
On campus or online, Troy offers you an extraordinary education that can take you anywhere you want to go. Troy University. It's all you need to know.
I'm John Phillips. I'm an active duty soldier attending school full-time, and I choose Troy.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Courtney Addison at the Global News Desk. Courtney.
Thanks, Judson. With just 12 days left until the election, President Obama and GOP challenger Mitt Romney are campaigning hard in the key battleground states. Romney is zeroing in on Ohio, but the president is taking time to do what no other sitting president has done: vote early in person. Tara Mergener reports from the White House.
President Obama is heading to Chicago to cast his vote early and hoping supporters will follow his lead.
I'm just going to keep on keeping on until every single person out there who needs to vote is going to go vote.
His day began with an early morning donut run in Florida. By a noontime rally in Virginia, his voice was hoarse.
I'm sorry, are you fired up?
The president is wrapping up the day in the state he's visited the most, Ohio.
How you doing?
Ohio is so important, Mitt Romney put all of his energy into the state Thursday. No Republican has won the White House without it. With early voting underway, he's also pushing his supporters to get to the polls.
We're ready. This is our time. I need your help.
In a race this close, both candidates know the outcome will depend on a handful of battleground states. To close the deal with voters, they're going back to the #1 issue, the economy.
This election is therefore a big choice, and America wants to see big changes, and we're going to bring big changes to get America stronger again.
We've got to go forward with the policies that are getting us out of this mess, and that's why I'm running for a second term.
The president picked up an endorsement from Republican Colin Powell Thursday. Romney saw poll numbers showing he's erased President Obama's double-digit lead with women voters. Tara Mergener for CBS News, the White House.
Hurricane Sandy is slamming the Bahamas today with winds over 100 miles per hour. It's also threatening to become a superstorm that could hit the Atlantic coast of the U.S. next week. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Florida.
The outer bands of Hurricane Sandy are hitting Florida's Atlantic coast with powerful waves, gusty winds, and heavy rains. Streets are flooded near Miami, and officials are warning surfers to stay out of the water in Fort Lauderdale.
You just get tossed around out there, really severe rip currents.
Up the coast in Melbourne Beach, residents are preparing for tropical storm force winds and flooding as the offshore hurricane moves north Thursday night and Friday.
As we're speaking, I'm filling sandbags.
Forecasters are calling Sandy a Frankenstorm because it's threatening to become a monster hybrid storm that could pound the East Coast right before Halloween. Sandy should travel up the coast over the weekend, possibly collide with rain from the west and cold air from the north.
We could be looking at a nor'easter/hurricane situation with heavy snow, storm force winds, and potentially a lot of power outages. Coastal flooding could be widespread as well.
The storm is expected to come ashore between Maryland and Long Island, New York, dumping rain for days. A government forecaster predicts it will make landfall somewhere in New Jersey on Tuesday morning. Sandy could affect millions of people on the East Coast and cause about $1 billion in damages. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Canova Beach, Florida.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune in to Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Judson.
Thanks, Courtney. And now Justin McNally joins us for a look at sports. So, Justin, rodeo team's in action tonight.
That's right. They're looking to improve on some great performances they've already had this year. Soccer team is in action tomorrow, along with 2 other sports this weekend. But I'll get to that and more here in sports. Since the Trojans now have their first home win under their belt, they can set their sights on the task of defeating FAU this Saturday. The Trojan football team has defeated the Owls in 4 straight meetings and has scored more than 30 points in each of those contests. The Owls enter this matchup with the same record FIU did. We all know how that game turned out. The Trojans hope to keep the momentum from last Saturday's big win flowing throughout the season. The head coach Larry Blakeney knows despite the Owls' record, the Trojans still have to prepare for a tough game.
Well, you know, you just got to plan for what you see, scheme-wise, and try to be able to attack and defend what they do. And you know, they present themselves defensively pretty aggressive, and you know, that if we execute that should play into our hands.
Florida Atlantic will take to the field Saturday at 4 p.m. in Boca Raton. On a side note, we would like to send a congratulations to Trojan quarterback Deion Anthony, who won this week's Manning Award Player of the Week. Anthony received over 1,000 votes and beat out conference rival ULM's quarterback Colton Browning. And fresh off the heels of a tough 5-set victory in Tallahassee, the volleyball team has no time to rest as they have another tough test against South Alabama this weekend. The Trojans defeated the Jaguars just a week ago in 4 sets, but it was far from easy. The Trojans currently sit second in the Sun Belt Conference standings, with South Alabama breathing down their necks in third. This game could ultimately decide who gets the number 2 seed for the conference tournament, and head coach Sonny Kirkpatrick understands the implications this game holds.
Go for the rest of the season. So you know, we've started working on that a little bit this morning in practice, and it's just going to be a big focus for going forward and getting ready for the match on Saturday.
The Trojans will have one more day of practice before they head down to Mobile on Saturday, with that game set to begin at 7 o'clock. While this has not been a season to remember for the Trojan soccer team, there have been some positives. Let's make a checklist. Have a player lead the conference in assists? Check. Record 5 or more shutouts? Check. Clinch a spot in the conference championship? Check. Next on the list, defeat your in-state rival. The Trojans will have a chance to cross that task off as well as they travel to Mobile to take on South Alabama on Friday. The Trojans have won 2 of the past 3 meetings, and head coach Chris Bentley knows his team is capable of taking care of business.
If we go out and compete with them, but then establish our rhythm of play and do what we can do, I think we can be a better team. But it's hard to compete with hard work, you know, blue-collar type teams, and that's where we've been competing with the last couple of weeks, and we've got to find a way to win in those games.
The Trojans and the Jaguars will battle for the 6th spot in the conference standings Friday at 7 o'clock. And the women's rodeo team will be looking for back-to-back titles as they are competing in the Southern Arkansas University Rodeo. The women's side is off to a hot start this year with victories in the Missouri Valley Rodeo and the University of West Alabama Rodeo. They sit atop of their regional standings by more than 300 points. The men's side, however, has not fared as well as they have finished 10th, 5th, and then 10th again respectively in the 3 rodeos. Action for both teams is set to begin tonight. So as you be hoping the rodeo team can pick up some more points. The women's team already ahead, hoping they can expand that lead. Maybe the men's team can get back on track, and the other sports this weekend, hopefully they can pick up some big wins as well.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully the men's team can follow the lead of the women's rodeo team and get some more points on the board.
Sure hope so.
All right, thanks, Justin.
All right.
Coming up on TrojanVision Nightly News, Aaron Taylor tells us how Troy students are becoming more aware about homelessness and hunger.
Plus, yet another sunny, clear day in Troy. It seems like we haven't seen rain for a while. What can we expect in the next 24 hours, Jamarlo?
Well, tomorrow will be much more like today. Warm temperatures and clear skies, but I'll have more coming up next in weather.
Plant inspiration. Provide youth with the creative tools and skills to cultivate it. And you'll be amazed at what can grow. Adobe Youth Voices and the Peapod Foundation. Learn more at plantandinspire.org.
Yeah, but did you see how much he had to drink last night? I can't believe that guy made it home. Nobody drives drunk anymore. Hold on, I got another call coming in.
While drunk driving rates have dropped greatly, negligent driving and speeding fatalities have skyrocketed. Someone dies every 13 minutes from negligent driving, so keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and your phone put away.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Jamarlo Phillips joins us for a look at weather.
So, Jamarlo, we've had great weather all week. We have sunny skies, a little bit of a light breeze, good temperatures. Can we see those conditions carry on into our weekend?
Well, Courtney, we may see a drop in temperatures over the weekend, but I'll get into more of that right now. But first, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Taking a look across Bibb Graves Quad right now, we can see that the sun has begun to set. A few clouds in the sky. It's been a beautiful day overall on the campus of Troy University. Going into our current temperatures, current conditions. Skies are fair right now. Temperature coming in at 82 degrees. Dew point at 59. Humidity at 45%. Barometer reading 29.97 inches and falling. With our winds coming from the southeast at about 4 miles per hour. Taking a look at today's stats. We were able to see a high today of 82 degrees. We were able to see about a 0.01 inches of rain. Sun rose this morning at 6:54 a.m. and it's supposed to set in just about almost close to about 45 to 50 minutes. Going into our temperatures from around the state, we can see that Mobile is sitting at 84 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Taking a look at Huntsville. Huntsville at 80 degrees with cloudy skies. Birmingham as well, cloudy skies in that area as well with a high of 84 degrees. Montgomery sitting at 81 with partly cloudy skies. Phoenix City 80, Troy 82, and Dothan sitting at 83 degrees. Taking a look at our current temperatures across the southeast right now, we can see that in our area we're still experiencing those warm temperatures around the 79 to 80 degree mark. Going into our current temperatures across the United States, as we look towards the west, we can see the northwest, we can see that they are experiencing very cool temperatures ranging from the low 40s, even the low 40s to the low 30s in those areas. Taking a look at our current surface map, we can see in our area there's not too much going on in our area, but we can see that we have a low pressure system sitting right above the northern portion of Texas and also a stationary front as well. Going into a closer look at our current surface map in our area, we can see that we have a few gusts of winds, but as far as that, nothing too severe in our area. Going into our actual lows for today, we're able to see lows of 56, around the mid-average of 50s in our area. Going into our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours, we will not be experiencing any rain, so that's that. Taking a look at Friday's forecast. No rain in our area, but as we look towards the west, we can see that the Mississippi and Louisiana areas will be experiencing rain in those areas. Taking a look at Saturday's forecast, we will be experiencing some very windy conditions, so do be on the lookout for that. Taking a look at Sunday's forecast, those windy conditions and rain will have moved out of our area, so for Sunday, we should be experiencing some clear skies. Taking a look at Monday's forecast, again, no rain in our area, no activity in our area. Taking a look at tonight's forecast, we'll be experiencing partly cloudy skies, light and variable winds coming from the northeast at about 5 miles per hour with a low of 59 degrees. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast, partly cloudy skies, again, warm skies, northeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour, a high of 85 degrees. Taking a look at our 4-day forecast for the next 4 days. Taking a look at Friday, we can see that we'll be experiencing partly cloudy skies as well as Saturday and Sunday. A low of 75, a high of 75 on Saturday, a high of 69 on Sunday, and a high of 63 on Sunday. So Courtney, Justin. As we can see, for the weekend, those colder temperatures will be coming into our area, so we have to be on the lookout for that.
Exactly, so it's starting to feel a little bit more like fall now.
Right.
Thanks, Marlo.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marlo.